Hello again. Doing another video. First off, on this video and stuff, I would like to say I know we've had some weather changes where I am, temperature changes, anyways, and it has caused quite a few people, I'm sure, to get sick, me included. I ended up with some sinus issues Monday night, and I'm still working on getting through it. I'm better now. Not 100% yet, but I'm getting there. So to anybody out there that ended up getting sick because of the temperature changes or whatnot, I hope you get better soon. And get on to this. So last time I did a video, I showed this little chart right here to help you understand where all the notes on your guitar were. Very useful, very helpful. And then I also showed you how I broke it down to start learning where all the notes on the guitar, so I don't have to pull this chart up anymore for myself to remember all these notes. It's just something I did. I'm not a teacher again, but I figure I can find this stuff on the internet myself. If I can find it, I know you can. All you gotta do is just search for the stuff that you're looking for. This particular thing, all I did was type in on the Google search notes on a guitar. But for the next one here, um, these are your, well, according to the chart right there, it's your basic guitar chords. And yeah, quite a few of them are your basic guitar chords. Other people may refer to them as open chords because you string. Because when you play these chords, you end up playing some open strings. Pretty much any of the X's right there are indicated as strings you don't touch. The ones with the circles on them and stuff indicate strings that you do pluck, but you just don't have any frets pressed down. Like I said, forgive me because I'm still getting over my cold. So yeah, and I've showed this before in another video. The C, A, G, E, D. Haven't showed the F before. The A minor, the D minor, or the E minor. Maybe maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But these are pretty much your more common chords. Now the reason I'm showing these is because of this right here. So a couple of the songs that I'm currently working on learning involve bar chords. This is one of them. And I'm not very quick at learning, I'm not very fast at transferring my fingers. I had a better word for it, but like I said, I'm a little under the weather, so my mind's not 100% yet. Transitioning from one chord to a bar chord. It is something I'm working on. For example, one of the songs that I've been working on learning goes from an A chord. Again, here's the A chord right there. Goes from that A chord right there. It sounds like this. And then it transitions to this F F chord. This is actually more considered an F bar chord. That line going across and stuff indicates you actually have your finger going all the way across all 6 strings, and your 3rd, 4th, and 2nd finger on those particular frets on those particular strings. So it would sound like this. Now when you play something like that, it's always a good idea to hit each string individually to make sure that each string is ringing out properly. If it's not, you may have to readjust your finger. Sort of thing. Which is where my transitioning is still kind of throwing me off, because going from this A right here to this F, I keep having to reposition my fingers, and my fingers are not used to that shape yet. I've been working on it all week, and I plan on continue working on it until I get it down right, or until I can transition to it faster. The question that I had when I was first starting is, why are these called these particular notes? And doing a little bit of study in music theory, I found out that the reason they're called those particular notes is because they have, first off, the first note you strum is the C. So if we take this first chord right here, the C chord, and we strum it, if I strum it properly, there we go. The first note that rings out is actually a C, which is that one right there. Now the rest of the notes in that and stuff are correlating with, or pretty much a chord is made up of of either the root, the fifth, and the root, the third, and the fifth of the note. So in this case, it would be the C note or the C chord, but that the C note has several different notes pertaining to its scale. I know that's probably going to be very confusing, so I also pulled this up right here to help out with that. So these are all the notes on your guitar. In clockwise, it's A through G, which also includes the sharps and the flats. We'll start with the C and stuff because that's pretty much the simplest note scale to do. And what I mean by this, so there is, if you want to write this down, when doing any scale as far as a note scale is concerned, and this is what I learned off of music theory, so if you are confused about any of this or need help with it, find an instructor or somebody that understands music theory, or study music theory yourself, and it will help you to understand this better. We're going to start with C. So if you would go through the scale of C, it would be C, D, E. Now, why are we skipping the ones in between? Well, because the rule of a note scale is a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step back to the original note. So, an easier way to remember that is 2 whole steps and a half step, then 3 whole steps and another half step. So, 2 whole steps, then a half step. Now you got 3 whole steps and a half step, and then you should be back to the original note. And in this case, it's C, D, E, and then you got the half step, E to F, and then back to the whole steps again, F to G, G to A, A to B, and then the last half step, which is B to C. Now, if you were to play that on your guitar, so there's the C right there. If you were going to the D, be right here, E, in the half step, F, another whole step, G, A, B. I know you can't see this, so let me get to this real quick. Sorry. And then that last half step, back to the C. So, that would be the C note scale. Now, there are a lot of different scales out there. If you want to understand all the different scales, again, music theory, instructor or teacher that understands or knows music theory already. If you don't have the money for something like that or whatnot, like I don't currently, then you can also look it up. That's why I found this right here. It took me a little bit to find it, but yes, I did find it. But yes, you could type in guitar scales and stuff, and it will show you all the different types of scales that are on your guitar. Understanding those scales are a different story. I don't think the chart will help you to understand them, but you can at least see them. If you want to understand them, again, music theory. So, if we were to play this C right here, and since I know pretty much where all my notes are on the guitar, the first one we strum out is a C, where this finger is. That's a C. And then the next note we strum out right there is an E. Now, on this chart that we're looking at, is there an E in the C note scale? Yes, there is right here. It's the third. C, D, E. E is the third. So that means we go from, on the C chord, we go from the C as being the first note we hit to the E being the third note we hit. Now, any of the notes we hit should be within this same category. A chord is made up of the root. So if it's a C chord, it's made up of the root, which is the C note, the third, and the fifth. So to finish that off, the fifth note in this would be the G. So we got the E right here as the second note. That third one right there that we're going to hit for that C chord is actually the G string open. So it is your third string down. I'm trying to point to it the best I can and stuff. I'm hoping you can see it. I take my finger off of it. It's basically the G string plucked open. The next one is another C. So when you have your finger on that C chord, you're hitting a C twice. And the last one is an E, which is the third note in that scale. That's about the best way I can explain it. That's why I kind of understood it. But again, if you still don't understand it, you're having troubles with it, online courses to understand music theory, instructors or teachers, or whatever information you can go about finding to understand music theory better. I'm sure there's probably others more than what I've found, but so yes, this C chord is entirely composed of the C, E, G notes, the three. Going from C, E, G, C, E. First, third, and fifth of the C scale. Any chord that you play and stuff is always going to be compiled of those first, the root, the first, the third, and the fifth. If you were to move on to the A chord right there, well, the first string we pluck is the A string, and it's open, so obviously the A right there. The next one that we hit is on the D string, which is the E note. If we were to look at this chart again, if this the A right there, if we were to go to whole step, it'd be A, B, and then C sharp. Now you can see that there's also a D flat in there, but in order for a note scale to work, you have to have all the letters of the musical alphabet in it. So it wouldn't be D flat, it'd be C sharp. So, and you have to go in that order. Now, if you were to descend through the scale and stuff, then yes, it would be backwards, but it would be the same pattern. So the first is going to be the A, which on the A chord right here, you hit the open A, so you got the A. If you were to go whole step, half step, it would be going to the B, the C sharp, and then to the D. Okay. Now the second note we have pushed down is the E, so we haven't even gotten to that yet. But the next whole step after that D, we went A, B, C sharp, D for the half step, and then to the E. So there's where our fifth is. Yeah, that's where our fifth is. I had to count and make sure. It's been a long time since I've looked at this. Like I said, I'll get back to music theory and understanding it. So we got the first as being the A, the third being the C sharp, and the fifth being the E. First is A, and we got so first is A, we got B, and then C sharp, so that'd be our third, and then D, and then E would be our fifth. So first A, third C sharp, and fifth is E. So all three of those notes should be played in the A chord right here. So first one being the A, second one being the E, third one is the A again, fourth one being the C sharp, and then the last one being the E again. Now, besides just using my three fingers, because one of the songs that I'm trying to learn how to play and stuff, I find it easier to go from this right here, using my first three fingers. And it's very simple to do. Just cover up those first three strings right there. may have to make some adjustments to get to work. So we got A, E, A, C sharp, E, which is the first, the root, the third, and the fifth. So that's how you can kind of understand why these are particularly called the way they are. Now, and you can find out, you can make up any chord you want as long as they have that same pattern in it. Now, why is the C called the C? Because the first string you pluck is actually making the C sound, the C note sound. The second one, same way. You're hitting that open A, which is an A, so therefore that becomes an A chord. G the same way. It gets you on that third fret right there and stuff. As long as your guitar is tuned to E standard, then yes, you're hitting a G. And every one of the notes that you hit in that chord right there should be within the first, or the root being G, the third and the fifth of the G scale. And you got the A. Now when we get down here to, or the E, I'm sorry, the next one's the E, and then you got the D, then you got the F, which that one is probably a little trickier to play because you have to use all 4 of your fingers and have to get them all in the right spot. I haven't practiced that one a whole lot yet, but yes, that's kind of what it should look like right there, the F. And the 2 strings that aren't being plucked, and you can kind of do this if you take your first finger right there and stuff, you just kind of touch that E string right there, it doesn't make a sound. If you take your middle finger that's closest to the other E, open E string, to where when you play it, that's what the F should sound like. Now, then we go into the A minor. Now, the A minor doesn't start with an A, or it doesn't start with the A minor, so why is this one considered an A minor when it's not following the same pattern as the A chord does? Again, music theory is the only way it's going to explain this, but basically we're taking one of the notes in the A chord and shifting it down one. Down one would mean going from, and that particular note happens to be the C sharp. So if we were to look at this again, the C sharp, if we were to go counterclockwise this time, it would be the C. Therefore, when you go counterclockwise, it becomes a minor. So can you rearrange all the notes in each chord? Yes, and they do still have a name to them. But you just got to remember and stuff that, and that's when you kind of get more into triads. I got notes and stuff on that, and again, to explain that better, because I am not a teacher at all, I'm just trying to help you understand why these are called what they're called, how to find them and sort of stuff like that. I've been actually looking for a chart online like this and stuff for a little bit, but I finally found one. So, and it's another great exercise to use, and stuff to get used to where all your notes on the guitar. And then that's when you start filling in all those open circles right there, because then you start discovering that the G, after the G becomes a G sharp, or if you're going backwards on the neck of the guitar and stuff, or down the neck of the guitar, down being down pitch, up being higher pitch, then you go to flats. So if you're going down the neck or to higher pitch, it becomes a sharp. If you're going the other way, for a lower pitch, it becomes a flat. So then you can right there start filling in all those circles and stuff. Go from an A to an A minor, or from an F to an E, and then you can get more complicated and stuff and say the F is not an E anymore, it's an F flat, which that's completely harder to understand. Again, music theory. So, playing this right here, going from the song I've been trying to learn, which has the A, goes to the F bar chord, and then from there to the D minor. And yes, the D minor is on this right here, so you can see what the D minor looks like, the DM right there. and then to the G. And just keep cycling through that. For me to get better at playing the bar chords, that's what I've been doing. And that's pretty much what all this pertains to, is just going in this circle. One, I'm not hitting it a bunch of times, just one time. And then transition to the bar chord here. And then to the next chord. And this is where I would set up a metronome or whatnot and work on just going back through these. And yes, the idea of it is to get used to these shapes with your fingers. So if you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. Once you get used to the shapes and everything like that and stuff, it'll be easier to transition. I imagine anybody that's first picking up their guitar or within their first 6 months of playing this stuff, they may have an issue and stuff making these chords right off the bat. And that's about, I can get a little faster than that and stuff, but after a little bit of practicing it. I may spend about 15 minutes just cycling through these over and over again, and then take either a break or go back to one of the other songs, because it's always a good idea. If you've learned a song all the way through, it's always a good idea to come back to that song and play it at least once a day. What does it take? The average song takes, 3 to 5 minutes to play. So you play it for 3 to 5 minutes and stuff, just so you remember everything in the song, how it's supposed to be played. For example, I've shown in my other videos that I know how to play that one. But yes, I will play that. I will try to play that at least once a day, if not at least 2 or 3 times a week. I don't always get a chance to, depending on life or whatnot, work or whatever. Now, something else I want to show you about this. This is, and it doesn't have that name, it just says F chord, but this is considered an F bar chord because of the fact you bar your finger across it, which is kind of the same thing they do when they put a capo on the guitar. Now, I don't have a capo, so I can't really show you what a capo is. But when you put a capo over it and stuff, it makes it easier to play something like this, because then I would be able to play it this way. But if I was to play that, then I wouldn't be able to play the A minor chord. But when you do that, when you put a capo on it, you are essentially changing how easy it is to make certain notes. You're also changing the key of a song or whatnot, or going to the key of the song. But in this chart right here, it shows you what the F is. Now, this is one particular F. This also shows the same F right there. The idea is that as long as either one of them have the first, the fifth, and the third notes of the F scale, then it works. Just like the G. The G can be played multiple ways. You know where my first 2 fingers are, so let me pick those up, move those out of the way, and you can kind of see where my second 2 fingers are, the pinky and the ring finger. Now, that is one way of playing the G with your 2 fingers in their proper spots. But another proper way of playing is like this. What's the difference? So if I played it like this, that is the B string right there. The first note in the B string is the B. Then you got the C, which is up here. And so where my ring finger is, that's actually the D. Is there another spot on your guitar where you're actually playing the D for this particular note? Yes, there is. So your first finger's on the G, the second finger is on the B. There is nothing on the third string. And that third string is known as the D string. So therefore, this right here becomes a D right here with the ring finger, but you also got an open D up there. So even if you don't play it and you're playing the B, well, there's the B right there that you play. So when you have your first 2 fingers on there, that's a B right there. That's how that G becomes a G chord in multiple different ways. You're just basically changing the pitch ever so slightly by having 4 fingers on there over 3 fingers on there. So they're both considered a G chord. And this one right here, same thing. So the first one we looked at was this one right here. Sorry, this one right here, 4 fingers. Which you got the B string, we got the C on the B string, we got the A on the G string, we got the F on the D string, and we got the C on the A string. Okay. The only thing we're not hitting, like I said, is the 2 E strings, the high and low E strings. If I play it right. Notice I had to kind of check myself to make sure I was hitting all the strings right there. So this one right here, it's still 4 fingers, except for you can easily take your finger and bar it across that one. And you're just simply playing these. Now the first note you hit right there, you're actually not hitting it. The first 2 strings on this one right here, you're actually not hitting it. Whereas this one you were. This one you were. So here's a question you can ask. Why is this considered, if this chart is correct, why is this considered an F chord when it doesn't start with an F note? That's actually a C right there where my pinky or my ring finger is. That one right there is actually a C. A string, which goes to the B right there, and a C. So why is this considered an F chord? Is a good question for you to ask. Or if you know and stuff, you can answer it in the comments. There is an F on the pinky right there you're playing. If I can play it right again. Now I do know that this still has all the first, the third, and the fifth in it. Like the F would suggest. The F note scale. But why is this considered an F chord when it doesn't start with an F? And yeah, I did say that. I said that most of your chords are named after the first note you hit. In this particular case and stuff, we're not hitting the first note as an F. It's actually as a C. So, but in this one, we are. The third, the number 3 right there is sitting on the F. The number 2 is sitting on the A. And the 2 number 1s are sitting on a C and an F. And that is actually a little easier to play, because you're not having to mute the 2 E strings on that. There's a good question for you to ask. Another bar chord that I've been working on is this one right here. And this one actually shows you where all the notes are that you're going to actually hit. This is what's considered an F sharp minor. And it looks like this. Now in this particular case, you can use your middle finger to help push down those strings and stuff, so you actually ring those out. Now what song am I using this for? If I'm not mistaken, I believe this one is being used in a song that I'm learning, Pretty Woman. It goes something like this. Now I'm not playing it all the way through and stuff, but the chords that I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up again to remember. Chords I believe I'm using is the A, the F sharp minor, the D, and the E. Yeah, see, I got that one wrong because my middle finger's in the wrong spot. So simply, I would just go through that again. And those are the 2 exercises I've been using: the A minor to the F bar chord, to the D minor to the G. And when I need to take a break from that one, I'll switch over to this one, going C or the A, the F sharp minor, D, and E. just to, again, to continue working on getting used to these, transitioning to these bar chords. So that's pretty much all I have for today. I still hope you are picking up your guitar on a daily basis and practicing it, whether you're simply practicing getting used to where these notes are and stuff and moving your fingers around. Or just simply playing the notes in it. Or it's changing positions to play the notes, same notes. Sort of thing. Or even getting farther down here and trying them out. I'll move this so you can see what I'm talking about here. Or even getting farther down here and stuff to try them out the same way and stuff, getting used to your fingers having to be closer together, where up here your fingers have to be farther apart. Sort of thing. To even working on transitioning between chords. So the C, the A, the G, whether you play it with your ring finger or not, the E, D, the F, and again I haven't played this one a whole lot, so I know I gotta mute the E string, so I'm having to readjust my fingers to try to mute both the E strings. I'm doing my best with that one because, like I said, I haven't played that one a whole lot. A minor, D minor, to the E minor. Notice that the E and the E minor, there's only a difference of lifting up the finger. There's the E, there's the E minor. And on the A, now right there, lift your pinky up, put your first finger down, E to E minor. In fact, you can leave your first finger down either way, and all you gotta do is lift up your pinky right there, if you can get your fingers in the right spots. Switch back and forth. Now the D to the D minor is a little bit different. There's the D. Your middle finger actually has to come up 2 strings, so that way your first finger can come over here to the F. Now, and then you got the C again, which is one that some people tend to struggle getting to. The great thing about the C is most of the time I've seen so far in most of the songs I've played in, your transition is from an A to an E to a C, or vice versa. Like the Pink Floyd song I've been working on, it starts with that right there. Then it may go to the D, then the E, then the G, and then back to the D, and then the C, and then transitioning to the A minor. So there's a lot of transitioning right there you can work on learning and stuff. Like I said, if any part of this video is confusing or you got questions about it, or maybe you may have a correction on something I've said, feel free to leave a comment in the comments right there. I have no problem with that and stuff. Like I said, I'm not a teacher. I'm just trying to help people, inspire people to pick up their guitar and play it on a daily basis. I do my best to help out people as much as I can, while I'm also trying to learn myself and enjoy life myself. So I think I'll leave the video at that right there for now. But yeah, feel free to rewind or whatever, go back through if you want to try to work on these particular things, or if you want to try to find it on your own, the Google search engine where I found all this stuff. You can work on trying to learn all these things yourself, finding all these charts yourself, because that's where I found them, was in Google. So there are lots of charts. They may not be the easiest thing to see, but I'm pretty sure you can zoom in on what you want to look at and figure it out that way. But until next time, enjoy your day.